provide the spirit, and I will open up inside. Fill me up, God, fill me.
Blessed day, power people. You are listening to the Reverend and High Priestess Tamar Aziz Sewa. And I just wanted to chime in really quickly on YouTube and connect with you and just share some insights about how to get beyond your self-imposed limitations and socially imposed limitations. You'll find that as you evolve and you grow, you will increase your capacity to dream things you've never dreamed before, to accomplish things that you thought would be so hard and challenging to accomplish. But at the end of the day, what you see for yourself is what you will experience. Your spirituality and your spiritual health is very important when it comes to removing limitations. Because regardless of what your belief is, I'm not religious. I'm interfaith in my work, in my ministry. And what happens is you have to have a foundation of support, whether, in a church or a temple or at your shrine at home, where you can retreat to and you can receive things that are beyond your control. The process of removing limitations requires surrender of your ego, surrender of your fears, being able to see beyond what you've ever seen before. And that takes spiritual strength. It takes believing in yourself. When you're divinely connected to yourself, you have no limitations. You begin to realize that what you think is holding you back is simply an illusion. But you'll never get to that point if you have not done the work to get clear about who you are and define yourself as powerful and beyond limitations. You have to define yourself as powerful and beyond limitations. I'll share my testimony. All of my life I've done things that people have said, how did she do that? At 6 years old, I created my first organization. At 2 years old, I was already laying hands on people saying, be healed. One thing I know about myself is I was born knowing that there was divine power in me and practicing it very early in my life. So for me, part of my expression of myself is what I call specializing in multiple births. You'll never find me doing just one simple thing at a time. You'll always find consistency between my movements and what I create, especially as an entrepreneur. But my gift is that I am expansive. It's an expression of my spirituality. And the power of creativity that is in my womb, I allow it to flow limitlessly. And that's what helps me to be able to multitask. I'm able to be expansive in how I get things done. I'm able to multitask and be all that I am because I am connected to my divine self. I grew up in a Christian church, and in their Christian creation story, they say God created the world in 7 days, right? Nobody came to God and was like, wait, do you really need to create all of this in 7 days? Pace yourself. Take your time, God. Do you really have to do the land and the animals on the same day? You don't think that's too much for you, God? And granted, there's other, perspectives of how we got where we are as humans in Earth, which I appreciate as well. But I was thinking about that when I thought about this conversation with you. What's amazing to me is even now the Earth is still birthing, and we're in amazement about it. So when I reflect on things like that, I sit back with myself. This is the conversation I have, and maybe it will help you. When I think about that kind of creative power, me being who I am, I say to spirit, how do I embody that? That depth of creative power. How can I live a life that demonstrates I'm connected to that? All limitations need your agreement and belief to exist. For me, I have chosen expansion. I live a lifestyle where I'm fully dependent on my spiritual entourage to support me in creating the life I want to live. Once I make that connection and I align with something spiritual, I know that it's signed, sealed, and delivered for me, that there are no limitations or obstacles. And I'm very aware of how all that I do gets done. It's by the grace of God, the art of balance, and divine provision. So once I'm good with spirit, I go create legacies. What is going on in your life? Who is in your head telling you you're not ready, you're not good enough, you're doing too much? And I've had people who love and care about me a lot misunderstand how I do what I do. Sometimes it's people who's jealous because their capacity is different. Sometimes it's people who just really don't understand how I'm able to do what I do. And sometimes it's people who have seen me in this evolution not be successful all the time with how I do what I do. And so they get worried. Love them, but send that energy back to them once you know that you're moving in a way that is in alignment with what you and spirit are doing with your life. Shift beyond your fears. Be the key decision maker in your life and live the life you want to live without feeling the need to have anybody else's permission or validation. What I've done is I've created a 6-week experience where I hold space for women to go deep within, to get to a level of living beyond your fears, to be able to really dive into understanding how you got to where you are in your thinking and your consciousness, how that has impacted your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health, and what you need to do next to set yourself free and get to the next level. Access your power to manifest whatever kind of life you can see for yourself. These are the things that women who experience our 6-week womb healing intensive are doing. And it is literally life-changing. We did round 1 this year, 2015, and round 2 is launching next year in February. And let me tell you, what these women have done in 6 weeks, I've seen other women do in 30, 40, 50 years. The power of community, the power of intention, the power of accountability is deeply healing. So that's one resource for you. If you know, as you're listening to this, I'm not thinking this way, I'm not living this way, I'm always creating limitations and always viewing myself as not being prepared or good enough. You need this experience. Some of you have done something like this and you need a refresher. You need more accountability. You need to revisit the principles that you already know and kind of rekindle that fire within your spirit. For those of you that applies to, there's also a 30-day self-nourishment intensive that we are launching in the spring. That's for those who've already gone through our 6-week womb healing intensive or another coaching program, and you would like to connect with the Womb Sauna and myself for some additional support. And so, the ones coming out of round 1 of our intensive, they're like, Tamer, We look at all I manifested in 6 weeks. I say, wait till the spring and see what we're going to drop in 30 days. So that's been our joke. And our community, the sisters are doing powerful things. Oh my goodness. And so I wanted to extend that invitation to you. And most importantly, I wanted this conversation to spark something in you today. You are amazing. You are powerful beyond measure. So if your power can't even be measured, how is it possible that you could really see limitations for yourself? Get to the root of that. What is it that you're really scared of? Nothing's in your way except for what you decide is in your way. When the odds are stacked against you, redefine the odds. All right. So for those of you who want to connect to those events that we have coming up, you can go to thewombsauna.com, go to our event tab, and you'll see a drop down that says register for an upcoming event. We're in early registration season, so there is a financial incentive when you say yes and make this covenant with yourself to get to the next level. All right. So can't wait to connect with you, power people. Have a blessed day. And I will be in touch with you on YouTube soon. Peace.